All right, listener, get ready, because today we're diving into a world where diplomacy and monster slaying collide.
Sounds intense.
It is. We're looking at the Pathfinder RPG adventure path, Spore War.
Specifically, the first installment, Whispers in the Dirt.
Ooh, a good subtitle always sets the mood. Now, this adventure takes place in Keonan,
It's this elven nation known for its beauty and connection to nature.
but their peaceful existence is about to get seriously disrupted.
Yeah, a major threat emerges, the Whispering Tyrant.
Okay, we've encountered some nasty tyrants in our deep dives before.
But this one's a powerful undead force.
Oh no, undead, never a good sign.
And to make things even more complicated, Keonan is in the middle of trying to form an alliance against this tyrant when
Bam.
a demonic fungal invasion hits.
So it's like trying to put out a fire while a monster's growing in your basement.
Exactly. And this invasion is orchestrated by none other than the Demon Lord Tree Raiser.
Okay, that's a name that just screams trouble.
Oh, he's definitely bad news.
Yeah.
Now the adventure really throws us into the action right from the start. We're talking a battle scene at Lantana Beach.
Beautiful setting by Lake and Carthen, I bet.
It is, but the tranquility is shattered when these plague barges emerge from the mist.
Plague barges. That sounds ominous.
They're packed with undead warriors sent by the Whispering Tyrant.
Talk about ruining a day at the beach.
It really highlights the immediate danger facing Keonan.
And we're not talking just mindless zombies, right?
Nope. The source material describes corrupted knights wielding weapons infused with dark magic.
So the Whispering Tyrant can twist even the noblest warriors to his will.
Chilling thought, right?
Absolutely. I was reading about this one corrupted knight named Talamir.
Oh, yeah, he's a formidable foe.
He has this frost greatsword.
And this devastating attack that can cleave through multiple opponents.
Wow, what kind of power does that take?
It gives you a sense of the insidious nature of the Whispering Tyrant.
He doesn't just raise mindless undead, he corrupts and twists.
He uses the skills and abilities of his victims against their own people.
Adds a whole new layer of fear to the mix.
Definitely foreshadows the challenges to come.
So the heroes managed to defend Lantana Beach, and now it's time for a celebration.
You got it. A victory feast hosted by Queen Talandia herself.
I'm picturing something out of an epic fantasy movie.
You're not far off. The source material goes all out describing the feast.
Silver lanterns illuminating lush gardens.
Tables laden with autumn salads, braised venison, those delicate honey lattice desserts.
I can almost taste it.
But there's more to this feast than just indulging in delicious food.
Oh, I bet. There's always a deeper layer.
It's a carefully orchestrated event.
To showcase Keonan's strength and unity.
Exactly. It's about diplomacy building alliances, presenting a united front against the Whispering Tyrant.
So the PCs aren't just there to enjoy the party.
Not at all. They have a role to play in this political dance.
They need to make a good impression on the queen and the dignitaries.
Navigate those social situations, read between the lines, maybe even subtly influence opinions.
Sounds like a challenge for those who prefer their swords to their social skills.
Oh, absolutely. And this feast is just the first step in Queen Talandia's grand plan,
Which is?
to establish the Encarthan Alliance.
That's a big goal.
It's a union of the diverse nations surrounding Lake Encarthan.
On the surface, it seems like the only logical move.
Unite against a common enemy, share resources, present a stronger front.
But we know it can't be that simple.
Oh, it's never that easy.
What are some of the hurdles Queen Talandia faces in forming this alliance?
Well, the nations she's trying to unite are a diverse mix.
With their own histories.
Rivalries, internal conflicts.
So it's not just a matter of saying, hey, let's all be friends and fight this big bad together.
Not quite. The source material introduces this cast of delegates, each with their own motivations and agendas.
I love how these source books flesh out the political landscape.
It adds so much depth to the story.
So who are some of these key players?
Well, there's Chalso Rove from Derma.
Okay, and what's her deal?
More of a merchant than a diplomat, always looking for a profitable angle.
So she's in it for the money.
You could say that.
Would you want to be the one negotiating with her?
I'd definitely brush up on my bartering skills first.
Who else is part of this alliance?
You've got Walder Reskett, an arrogant general from Mulfoon.
General, that's never a good sign when it comes to diplomacy.
He's itching for a fight with the neighboring nation of Nirmathas.
Oh boy, that's not going to help matters.
Their representative, Aromani Yazgan, is burdened with problems.
And desperately needs aid.
But will she accept help at any cost?
Ooh, good question. That's where things get morally gray.
And then there's Clavance Ordranti from Ustalev.
Okay, and what makes him stand out?
He's a dumpier,
A Dompier, meaning...
half vampire.
Oh, wow.
Adds an element of distrust to an already tense situation.
Especially since one of the other delegates represents the Knights of Last Wall.
A holy order sworn to destroy undead.
Talk about awkward.
And we haven't even mentioned Alzarius,
Alzarius. And who might he be?
a priest of Rezmir.
And for those not familiar with Rizmir,
He's a god king ruling a theocracy,
so his followers are...
rumored to have dealings with the Whispering Tyrant.
tend to be trusted,
The source material doesn't give us easy answers.
which is what makes it so intriguing.
Exactly. It's up to the players to decide who to trust.
So you've got all these delegates with conflicting personalities and goals.
All gathered in one place.
Sounds like a powder keg waiting to explode.
And you know what?
It does explode.
During the treaty signing,
Oh no.
a group of assassins bursts into the temple.
Chaos.
Spells flying delegates scrambling for cover.
And the PCs are caught in the middle.
Naturally.
So the big question is,
Who are these assassins?
and who sent them?
That's the mystery the PCs have to unravel.
And of course, there are red herrings and misleading clues.
Oh, yeah. The source material doesn't make it easy.
Like, that's what makes it fun.
Right. It's all about piecing together the puzzle.
So where do the heroes go from here?
The trail leads them across Lake Carthon to Exer.
Exer. What's that?
It's a Razmiran town, known for its corruption and shady dealings.
Sounds like my kind of place.
Think whispers in dark alleys deals struck under the cover of night danger lurking around every corner.
I'm getting major film noir vibes.
It's a place where you have to watch your back.
And what are the PCs hoping to find in this den of intrigue?
They're searching for a priest named Vintilax.
Ventilax. Got it.
They're following a trail of clues, a key, a pair of strange boots, a name whispered in hushed tones.
It's like a classic detective story.
But what they discover is far more disturbing than they could have imagined.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. What do they find?
They uncover a hidden cult worshipping a corrupted version of Rezmir.
A corrupted version.
They call him the Rotting God.
Oh, that can't be good.
And this is where the adventure takes a turn toward body horror.
Body horror, like what are we talking about?
Cultists with fungal growths bursting from their skin,
Yikes.
transformed into monstrous creatures with thorns and claws.
That's a visual I won't soon forget.
It really highlights the insidious nature of this fungal invasion.
It's not just about conquering land.
It's about corrupting and twisting life itself.
So this Ventilax, is he the mastermind behind this whole plot?
He's a pawn in a much larger game.
There's always a bigger fish.
Vintilax has been corrupted by a demon named Lucarizil.
Lucarizil. Another name to add to our list of baddies.
And Lucarizil is working for Tree Razor.
Ah, so we're circling back to the big bad.
And their plan involves something called the Jaharlu Spore.
Jaharlu Spore sounds ominous.
It's a monstrous fungal growth.
And where is this Jaharlu Spore?
It's been growing beneath green gold.
Sorry, green gold. Isn't that where the Queen's Feast was held?
The very same.
So this invasion isn't just a random attack,
It's a calculated strike at the heart of Kionin.
aimed at destroying the very alliance meant to protect the land.
The stakes just got a whole lot higher.
So what happens next?
Well, that's a story for another time.
You're going to leave us hanging.
We've got to save some surprises for the next part of our deep dive.
All right, listener. You heard it here first. The fate of green gold hangs in the balance.
And we'll be back to uncover the rest of this story.
Stay tuned. Okay, so the heroes are racing back to green gold, knowing this fungal invasion is way more serious than they initially thought.
Oh, yeah, they're facing a whole new level of urgency.
It's not just about alliances anymore.
It's about saving a city.
From a full-blown fungal takeover.
And trust me, the source material doesn't hold back on the creepy details.
Like what?
Imagine buildings literally pulsating with this eerie fungal growth.
Cool.
Streets choked with spore-filled fog. The air heavy with the stench of decay.
Not exactly a pleasant stroll through the park.
It's a far cry from that vibrant city we saw during the Queen's Feast.
Yeah, that image is really sticking with me.
And of course, the city's inhabitants are caught in the middle of this chaos.
I was wondering about that. What happens to the everyday people of Green Gold during this invasion?
The source material shows us the impact on individuals and families.
In a realistic way.
Yeah, you see families separated markets, abandoned people, forced to fight for survival.
Against those spore zombies and mutated animals we talked about.
It's a reminder that these large-scale conflicts have real consequences for ordinary folks.
Absolutely. Now, there's this Significant event that happens during the invasion.
The blossoming.
Yeah, what exactly goes down during that?
Picture a massive fungal growth erupting from beneath the Temple of Callistria.
Right in the heart of the city.
That's the blossoming, the culmination of Lucarazzel's plan.
So that Jaharlu spore we discussed.
It's reached maturity and it's spreading its corruption rapidly.
Like a ticking time bomb.
But there's this curious detail in the source material.
Oh, what's that?
Venoran Estate, where the delegates were staying.
Right.
It's completely unaffected by the fungal growth.
It's like an island of normalcy in this sea of madness.
Exactly. It's a safe haven for the heroes and any remaining delegates.
So they have a place to regroup and plan their next move.
But it also raises a question, why is the estate unaffected?
Good point. What's protecting it?
It's a little mystery within the larger story.
I love those little details that make you think.
They add so much depth and intrigue.
So while the heroes are trying to figure this out, what about Queen Talandia?
Oh, she's not just sitting back watching the city crumble.
I wouldn't expect her to.
She sends an urgent message to the heroes.
Pleading with them to find the source of the invasion.
And stop it before it spreads beyond Greengold.
The fate of Keonan, maybe even the entire region, is in their hands.
No pressure, right?
So this is where those relationships they built during the alliance negotiations become crucial.
Absolutely. It's not just about fighting monsters anymore.
It's about using those social and political connections to their advantage.
For example, if they manage to win over Chalso Rove,
The merchant from Drumma?
she might offer them vital supplies.
Or maybe even intel on those underground routes to get around the fungal blockades.
And if they impress General Rusket,
The one who's always itching for a fight.
he could provide military support.
Or even those siege engines to blast through corrupted areas.
Now what about Alzarius?
The Resmiri priest.
Could he be an asset despite the suspicion surrounding him?
It's a tough call.
He's still trying to clear his name after that assassination attempt.
Right.
So he has a vested interest in stopping this invasion, especially after seeing what happened to Vintilax,
So he might offer his knowledge of Resmiri rituals.
or access to hidden pathways within the city.
It's a gamble, but sometimes you have to trust unlikely allies.
Especially when the stakes are this high.
Speaking of high stakes, you mentioned Spore tyrannosaurs earlier.
Oh yeah, those are terrifying.
Remind us what those are again?
Imagine a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
Now infuse it with demonic energy and cover it in pulsating fungal growths.
That is not a pretty picture.
They're described as living battering rams capable of smashing through buildings.
Okay, definitely adding that to my list of creatures to avoid.
There are also the Degalus demons.
The less demons, what are those like?
Creepy, mole-faced fiends that thrive on deceit and manipulation.
That's delightful.
They lurk in the spore-filled fog,
Preying on people's fears and doubts.
turning them against each other.
So it's not just a physical threat.
It's a psychological one, too.
They really thought of everything.
So the heroes are fighting their way through Greengold, battling these fungal horrors, following those pulsating tendrils,
And this investigation leads them
to
to
hidden farm beneath the city.
a farm under the city.
And it's not your typical patch of crops.
What is it then?
It's a nightmarish combination of nature and demonic influence.
I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
Imagine fleshy pods nurturing monstrous abominations, pulsing fungal nodes powering arcane rituals.
That's seriously messed up.
It's a truly unsettling discovery.
What kind of challenges do they face in this hidden farm?
Well, besides those corrupted tyrannosaurs,
Of course.
they encounter a powerful demon called a Babo.
Babo. Another one for the list.
It's described as a hulking brute with razor-sharp claws and a hunger for destruction.
Not someone you want to run into in a dark alley.
Or a hidden farm, for that matter.
So is this hidden farm the ultimate source of the invasion?
That's the clever twist.
There's always a twist.
The farm serves as a distraction.
A distraction. From what?
It buys Lucrezero time to complete his ritual.
So the heroes could waste precious time fighting those fungal horrors down there.
But unless they find the true source, their efforts will be in vain.
It's a race against time.
And the fate of Greengold hangs in the balance.
I can't wait to find out what happens next.
Well, you'll have to stay tuned for the final part of our deep dive.
We'll be back to uncover the heart of this fungal nightmare and the final confrontation with Lucrezero. Okay, so we're back and the tension is high. Our heroes are facing a race against time to stop Lucrezro's ritual and save Greengold from this demonic fungal invasion.
And they know the hidden farm was just a distraction. The real threat lies somewhere else.
Exactly. So where is this ultimate source of the invasion?
Deep beneath Greengold in a forgotten chamber called the Foul Observatory.
The Foul Observatory? The name alone sounds creepy.
Oh, it's definitely a place you wouldn't want to stumble upon by accident.
So what is this foul observatory?
Imagine a massive fungal dome pulsating with demonic energy buried beneath the Temple of Callistria.
Okay, that's a visual I'm not going to forget anytime soon.
This chamber was once dedicated to studying the stars.
An observatory, right?
But Lucarizil has twisted it into an engine for his dark ritual.
It's like science and the supernatural colliding in the worst possible way.
And the source material describes the inside of the observatory in vivid detail.
Give us the rundown.
Fleshy, pulsating sacs lining the walls, each one containing a monstrous fungal creature waiting to be unleashed.
Oh, that's just wrong on so many levels.
It's a demonic nursery, and it's truly disturbing.
So what stands between the heroes and stopping this ritual?
Well, first they have to get past the Guardians.
And I bet it's not just a couple of those Tanglebriar Isklugs.
Nope. Lucarizil has something much more powerful guarding the heart of the observatory.
What is it?
A massive fungal node connected to the Jaharlu Spore itself.
Ah, so this node is like the central hub of the invasion.
Exactly. It's channeling energy from the Jaharlu Spore, fueling the portal and amplifying Lucarizil's power.
Destroying this node sounds pretty important then.
It's key to disrupting the ritual and closing that gateway.
And I'm guessing Lucarizil isn't just going to stand by and let them smash his node.
Oh, he's definitely waiting for them.
And I bet he's brought some friends.
He's got a welcoming committee, all right.
Who are we talking about?
How about a trio of Tanglebriar Iskulugs,
Those slug-like creatures?
but bigger and nastier than any they've encountered before?
Give us the details.
They're hulking masses of corrupted flesh covered in thorns dripping with toxic slime.
I'm starting to regret asking for details.
But the Iskulugs are just the warm-up act.
Of course they are. Who's the main event?
Lucarizil himself.
And what kind of monstrosity are they facing now?
He's described as even more monstrous than Vintilax.
And Vintilax was pretty messed up.
Fungal growths cover half of Lucarizil's body.
Ugh.
And he has this horrifying, pulsating maw filled with razor-sharp teeth.
Not someone you want to meet in a dark alley.
Or anywhere, for that matter.
So what kind of power does this demon lord pack?
He has a terrifying array of demonic spells and abilities.
Like what?
One particularly nasty attack is called Spore Burst.
Spore burst. That sounds pleasant.
Imagine a cloud of flesh-dissolving spores erupting from his maw, engulfing anyone nearby.
I think I'll pass.
He can also teleport, summon swarms of those fungal creatures, and even control the minds of those around him.
So it's a battle on multiple fronts.
Physical, mental, magical.
Talk about a challenge.
And the stakes couldn't be higher.
This is it. The final confrontation. The fate of green gold hangs in the balance.
The source material really delivers on the epic scale of this encounter.
What are some of the highlights?
Well, there's this fascinating twist that adds another layer of strategy to the fight.
Oh, I love a good twist. Remind us what we're talking about.
Remember that statue of Green Gold's founder, the one that was stolen from the temple?
Oh, yeah. I was wondering when that would come back into play.
Well, Lucarizil has been using it as a focus for his ritual.
So it's not just about brute force. They need to break that connection.
Exactly. Severing the link to the statue is key to weakening Lucarizil and giving the heroes a fighting chance.
So it's like a magical puzzle they have to solve in the middle of this chaotic battle.
And there are multiple paths to victory.
I like that. It gives the players options.
Maybe the heroes manage to destroy the fungal node, directly cutting off the energy source and weakening Lucarizil.
Or perhaps they find a way to purify the stolen statue, turning his own weapon against him.
Each victory comes with its own rewards and consequences.
And that's what makes this kind of storytelling so compelling.
But even in victory, there's a lingering question.
Is this truly the end?
Or has Tree Razor's plan sown the seeds for a far greater conflict?
A spore war that could consume the entire region.
That, listener, is for you to discover.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the Spore Wars. We've journeyed through elven forests, battled corrupted knights, and faced down a demon lord in a final showdown.
We've seen the power of alliances, the importance of quick thinking, and the dangers of demonic fungal invasions.
We hope you've enjoyed this adventure, listener, and that it's inspired you to explore the world of Pathfinder and the Spore Wars adventure path.
And if you're looking for even more thrilling tales and deep dives into the world of tabletop RPGs,
be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out.
Until next time, keep those dice rolling, and may your adventures be filled with excitement and epic battles.
And maybe just a little bit of fungal horror.
But not too much.
Farewell, listener, and happy gaming.